Not this
Oh. Wait. I'm going to turn this off so we don't have that sound driving us nuts. Okay. Ooh.
Okay. Look at those blondes. I'm more corn-fed than Miss Dolly over here.
Okay. So we can see ourselves there, and we can see ourselves here. Isn't that wonderful?
It's great.
Oh my God! Let's turn this sound down. We don't. Otherwise, we're gonna.
Don't want to echo?
Don't want an echo, girl. Oh.
Oh, there's some people. Hi, people.
Hello, everyone.
Good evening, good evening, good evening.
Welcome to the Toni Homeperm show with my very special guest, the lovely Long Island showgirl, Lady Labelle.
Hello. How are you, everyone?
So how are you tonight?
I am good.
Well,
I'm okay. Had a show last night.
Yes, at Veranda.
Yes.
I saw some videos.
I needed an early morning disco nap so I can get up.
it was you and Ivy Stalls,
Yes.
Trinity B.
And a few other girls were there. Miss Trinity B unfortunately wasn't there.
She wasn't there.
She was our hostess, but she had a little accident. But she was fine. She's on the mend. She'll be out and about in no time. But we had Miss Coco. I forgot her last name. Miss Coco Lopez. She filled in for the night, and there was some other girls that I hadn't met. But oh my God, we had the best time.
You looked like you had a lot of fun.
We did. It was packed.
I saw the pictures. I'm sure some of you saw the videos, and it looked like it was
for
crazy.
As big as the place is.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, I don't think we have enough room.
Nothing wrong with that, girl.
That's true.
Nothing
true.
wrong
And
with
they
that.
had the drinks were flowing and the tips were good.
Thanks.
So they're not bad.
There you go. Nothing
bad
wrong with
for an
that.
event. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Not bad working for an event.
Absolutely. So it looks like. Oh, I'm so happy to see so many people are joining in. Ricardo Rodriguez. Hi, Ricardo. He was at my event on Friday. He took some amazing
Gorgeous
pictures. He always takes beautiful pictures.
Yes.
And who else? So my friend John Weigel, Jennifer Hanlon, Matthew Wisniewski, a.k.a. Celine Dijon.
Yes.
So, hello.
Love her.
Oh, someone said they love the heels. Oh, yes.
As a matter of fact, we were talking about your heels last night.
My heels? Oh.
Well, there was a young man, there was a Coco who was our host last night.
Mm-hmm.
She put on this beautiful neon look last night, and she had matching shoes that were
Mm-hmm.
similar to yours.
Mm-hmm.
And one of her friends, she tricked him into trying to walk in them.
Oh, no.
And it was quite funny. It was like, a baby deer walking for the first
goodness.
time. But I was like, oh, those shoes are great. They were like, well, where'd you get those shoes? I'm like, Toni has those shoes all the time. They're amazing.
Girl.
She's got many pairs, and they're perfect for him. So we were just talking about how great those shoes are, actually.
Yes, I live for the shoes. Well, so as you may remember from my first episode of the Toni Homeperm show, I love to do a little interview with my guests.
Here we go.
So we're going to get started and toss the questions to the lovely Lady Labelle. And as we talked about it, me and Olivia last time on my show, Lady Labelle, she was at both Olivia and I, the first shows we ever did. Lady Labelle was also a performer there, so that was the very first time I did drag at the Long Island Gay Men's Chorus.
And
April was a drag cabaret.
It was fun.
You were one of the performers, and she was fabulous.
Oh, thank you.
She did Diana Ross.
Yes, and Sheila E.
And Sheila E was my special request because I love Sheila E. So I requested that, and she did it just for me. So
it was fun.
It was.
It's one of my favorite numbers to do.
Yes. And did you do which Diana Ross did you do?
I did Ain't No Mountain High
Ain't No Mountain High Enough.
The long version.
The long version, and the crowd went crazy, and they were just pelting her with money.
Would you believe that's the first time I ever did that number?
No, I don't believe it.
She's lying. I ever did that.
She's lying.
Playing Diana Ross in a show, no, but doing her number, yeah.
So speaking of which, since I just was talking about how I got started doing drag, how did you get started doing drag?
Many moons ago. For those who don't know, outside of this, I work in theater, and I'm a dancer by trade. I sing, dance, act, and do other things. I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. And it was in a production of Hair, the musical.
Oh.
Now, if anyone's familiar with the show Hair, in Act 2, there's a duo number done by trios, 6 girls. One group is white girls, and they sing about the love of black boys, and the other is a trio of black girls who sing about the love of white boys. And when it first premiered, and most companies do it, the white girls are all in black leather and lace and things like that, and the 3 black girls look just like the Supremes. And so we were doing a production, and one of the girls who was playing one of the roles got sick and couldn't sing, so I went in. So I sang, and so every now and then, if I do a production of Hair, I usually get in that.
Mm-hmm.
But from that, I went to do Lacage.
Oh.
And I was a tap dancing Kajal for a while, and then stepped into the role of playing the maid, or Jacob, is what his name is. And that show comes to me like boomerangs. As soon as I'm done doing it, it may pass me a couple of years, and it comes right back.
Again.
And they're like, "Hi, we need..." Yes, I can go there. Have costumes will travel.
Now, that production of Hair, was that the one where you met Ben Sailors? Was he in that with you?
Yes. That was many years ago. That was at Creative Ministries, but I'd done that earlier. And through our director, Mr. Noel Ruiz, rest his soul, asked me to do it. And he asked me last minute because he had nobody to do it. And so I was like, fine, I'll do it. And the costume designer at Creative Ministries at the time had made me a costume for a production of Lacage. And I literally, like halfway through the Act 1, I went out and I changed, put on a whole thing, afro wig and this tight mermaid gown. And I don't think the cast really knew what was coming. And then all of a sudden they were like, oh.
Surprise!
And it was a lot of fun. But yeah, Lacage has been one of those shows that I come back to it always.
That's wonderful.
That, and then the next thing that I was doing in drag on stage was Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, Rocky Horror.
I am one of the few handfuls of black actors who play the role of Dr. Frankenfurter. I've done that for A Bite of Broadway, which is a wonderful Long Island chapter that raises money for Equity Fights AIDS. And every now and then they do a couple of musicals, and that's one of them. And I always get that, "Oh, hey, we're doing Rocky. What time?" That's another show. Have costumes will travel.
Oh,
but
yes.
That and a lot of children's theater, playing stepmothers, fairy godmothers, wicked witches, things like that. So it's always been in my theatrical life. And then one day, I was called to do a review for I don't know if they're still around. It's called Fresh Fruit Festival, which celebrated LGBTQ theater arts and everything. And I was invited to do a musical review where all of the women were singing guy songs and all the women were singing girl songs. And I was the capper because no one else was in drag. I came out in drag. And I won an award for it.
Wow.
And winning the award for it made me go, there's something to this. And again, after I did that, another production of Lacage came. So it's just
in your blood.
It's just always been there. Yeah.
So well, we're all the lucky for you doing that because like Olivia London and I were talking the last time on my show. We both think the world of you. We just think that you are just one of the most fabulous drag performers here on Long Island.
Thank you.
She is one of my husband's favorite performers.
Aww.
You know. So, of course, I'm the most favorite. He has no choice.
Well,
I have to be number one.
I mean, you said I do.
So exactly. So you're just right after me. So, but yes, you are just always elegant.
Thank you.
Always graceful.
I try.
And so talented.
I try.
Always together. Look is always flawless. So.
Not bad for a budget.
We do what we can.
We do what we can.
We do what we can. And actually, I've always felt that you and I sort of have a similar aesthetic.
We do, because we grew up on an age of drag that's very different than what it is today. Which is not a bad thing. I mean, it's an art form, so it's ever changing.
Right.
But, there is something to be said for classic and school and things like that. I mean, that's part of its foundation of what the kids are doing today.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's fun, and it's fun to be doing it now, and I feel like I'm in an in-between age. I'm not young, although I have not touched 50 yet. So it's one of those things where I'm
grabbing it by the bullhorn.
You're fine. No, you're doing fantastic. Believe it or not. Please. There are some people who are 3 and can't do what you do. So, but yeah, so it's just, I grew up on an age of drag that sadly isn't anymore, but still is.
Right.
So,
right.
But I do enjoy it. I do enjoy it as long as I look a person.
Exactly.
And
you know what I feel is that actually when, like you and I, when we do this sort of glam with shows with the younger girls, we actually, that's what sort of sets us apart, because the other girls don't really do that.
No, they don't. But that's also because of, times are different. You know. I grew up, like I said, in musical theater. I grew up where you went to class, you learned to sing, you learned to dance, you learned to act, and you proved your worth on the stage in front of a lot of people. Right. And, there's something to be said about experience,
Absolutely.
As you get older, things start to, materialize. And
gravity takes effect.
True, no. Let me tell you. Doing those splits, boy. Ooh. Sometimes I'm just like...
Which she does amazing. So let's
if I don't keep doing it, I won't be doing it much longer. But yeah. That's it,
one thing you'll never see Toni Homeperm do. She's never doing a split, so never happening. I can't believe that Olivia did the death drop at the
That
the
was
brunch.
The best video I have seen in a long time.
She shocked us all.
Of course she did. And she said to me before that show, she was like, I feel like I'm going to dance. And I'm like, you sure about that? And she goes, yeah, I really want to do it. I was like, so then do it. She goes, but I'm so scared because I sing. I'm not a dancing queen. I'm like, yes, but you have to use all of your weaponry, all of your arsenals. If you want to dance. You have to try it. Forget about the people. They they know what it is when they bought the tickets. So go out there and have fun. And she was having fun. And I'm like, that's all that matters. No matter what anybody says out there, whatever it is that you want to do, especially if you want to do drag, have fun at it. If you can't have fun at it, then there's really no reason for
if you're not having fun, the audience is not going to
definitely
have fun.
Not.
Even if something goes wrong, like your wig is
pick
moving
it up, put
or
it back
whatever,
on and carry on.
It's like it's as far as the audience is concerned, it's all part of the show.
Like I said, they know what it is when I walk in the door. So don't get it twisted.
But those kinds of things never happen to Lady Labelle because she's perfect.
Oh no, please. Far from perfect. But yeah, because there are moments where I'm just like, my wig's coming off. You know what? Pull. That's fine.
What else can you do? What else can you do? I'm going to just see if we have any comments. People are watching. Ricardo Rodriguez said, hi, everybody. Oh, Caesar Ochoa is watching.
Hey,
hi,
Ivy.
Caesar. Do we have... Oh, there's Ivy.
Yes. Ivy, as a matter of fact, Ivy's first time doing drag was on stage in a production of La Cage that I was in with her. So she was like, oh my God, I love this. And then she was a director of another production that I did for her. And it's like, she's like, I always want to do drag. I want to do drag again. And she got bitten by the bug. And look at her now.
Once you're bitten by the bug... Oh, should we have a little toast?
Yes.
We have our Dom Perignon. A.K.A. ginger ale.
Okay, that's good. Ooh, that's good.
Nothing but the best for Lady Labelle.
I love ginger.
Well, that's one thing you and I, we also share. We really don't consume
alcohol.
Alcohol, especially at a gig.
No, never. Well, that's because I was taught many, many moons ago that you are hired to be the entertainment. And your job is to make sure everyone else has a good time. A drag queen's job is not just to look pretty and walk around, which you can. I mean, I have one of those gigs, hey. But our job is to make sure that the audience is enjoying themselves and going to the bar and getting those drinks. And some people need liquid courage, which is not wrong. We're not saying you shouldn't drink, but sometimes you need to have your wits about you far more than you think. Because A, you're in a show. You're also surrounded by 100 people tops at a bar. The bar is really close. So you need to be able to hear everything that's going on. You need to be able to direct people if you need to direct them. It's a whole thing. It's a whole process. As well as, you wanna give a good show. I mean, what if you went to a Broadway show and everybody was plastered? That would not be a very good show. I'd be thoroughly entertained. but that, you know, you don't want to have that. But so yeah, I don't drink normally, but I don't drink when I'm performing because it's a kind of a calming and a focus that I get into when I'm doing this. So.
I'm basically the same way. So yes, so usually whatever you see me sipping through my straw, even if it's pink, it's ginger ale with a little bit of cranberry.
Right.
So
me, it's water or ginger ale or soda. Yeah.
Now I think we basically answered this because I was going to ask you how would you describe your drag aesthetic?
Well, I grew up on movie musicals. And Broadway shows and Broadway show tunes, and yeah, that's her, you know. But I'm a '70s baby, so I love my disco. I love my dance music. I really do. Only because it's really funny because we were talking to someone last night who had gotten back into doing the drag, and he was saying, I did a number and it was 5 minutes long and I couldn't last, and I'm like, a disco record is a good 8 tops. Yeah. So if you can last a disco record, you're pretty good. You know, you've got a little bit of stamina on you. So I always choose something that is exciting for people to see and want to cheer along, but also to show that there's a show, there's an arc to it. But yeah, that's me in a nutshell. I mean, I loved all those classic shows that are no longer around, like the Jewel Box Review and Slipper, where, believe it or not, people look up the Jewel Box Review. A lot of people...
I remember you posting about that. I looked that up.
The Jewel Box Review used to be a show that started in the 40s, if I'm not mistaken. And it was one of those shows that before there was Las Vegas, before there was those big, fabulous Vegas shows, as a matter of fact, those Vegas shows stole shows from the Jewel Box Review and the Lido and the Moulin Rouge. That's why when you go and see a Vegas show and all those feathers, it's from Paris and it's from the gays who are creating all those costumes. And so the Jewel Box Review and shows like it were shows that were all men. And the trick was to guess if there was a woman on stage. And there usually was one woman on stage. But not as dressed as a woman. She was a he and was the MC. So, you know, so seeing shows like that, and there's so many different people who were not necessarily stars, but they were stars. I was just like, I want to do that. If I ever did drag, this is the kind of style I would like to do. This is the kind of show I would like to present. So yeah, I love that vintage-esque look where everything is pulled together. You know? So, you know, you want to be like, oh look, there's a lovely woman on the stage.
That's what we hope you're thinking.
Yeah, you know, as we always say, what, the more you drink, the better we look?
That's right.
But yeah, you know, but then I also love the arts. I love when people are artistic. Like, I love my Frida. Miss Frida Cox. I love her because she's one of those news queens who has a head on her shoulders. She's very smart and she's very, you know, very social in you know, I'm losing words now, but she's with it. Yes. And so
a great performer.
A lot of her performances are very artistic and they have something to say, which is great. But me, I'm just like, throwing a dance song, I'm good.
I was there at Pride for Youth the night Frida did that number
she won
about the shooting of people of color, and it was Olivia was sitting right next to me, and we were just like, you could literally hear a pin drop when she was doing that number. It was so dramatic.
She contacted me, as a matter of fact, about it. She wasn't absolutely sure if she wanted to do it. She knew she was going to do it, but she didn't know if it was going to go over well. And I was like, well, first of all, you never know until you do it. Of course. And second of all, it's spoken poetry with a little bit of music. Right. I was like, if you sell it, everyone will buy it.
And she did.
And Frida's also an actor, so she's used to being on stage in front of people. Right. So to see her do it, bravo.
Yes, she was amazing.
Yeah, it was great.
She really was. So, one of the things about you, even though you have that Broadway aesthetic, you still perform at places like One Eye Jacks, and you do the more contemporary stuff. And how do you balance that? Because I also try to do that too if I'm performing like at Off Key Tiki or someplace or when I Jacks.
It's finding music that speaks to you. That's really it. That's what also sets all of these entertainers apart, even in New York City. You want to do something that's current, but sometimes current just doesn't fit in you.
Right.
So you look for something that you really enjoy doing, and as we always say, if you enjoy it, the audience will enjoy it.
Absolutely.
Also, depending on the crowd that you're in, I always like to know what kind of audience I'm going to be in front of, because then it makes it easier for me to decide on what I want to do. So yeah, it's gauging that. But and that's the thing, those people who are out there, even cabaret singers, find out what your audience is going to be. I mean, you could be booked, that's great, but if you're going to a senior center, you don't want to pull out no Nicki Minaj.
No, I do the senior centers, believe me.
You don't want to do that.
You're not doing Nicki Minaj or Cardi B at the senior center. Trust me.
You can't do that. But but then I've performed in front of children as well. So I try to make sure that in my arsenal anybody can see my show. Right. So I mean, there are things that I do that are a little for the grown and sexy, but the lyrics aren't vulgar. Right.
Like you do the chair song.
Yes.
The Ruth Brown.
Yes.
Which is amazing.
Me and Annie actually do the song. There's maybe one other queen that we probably know that have done it.
Well, my friend Madeline Keith.
Yes.
She does the chair song too.
It's fun. It's a fun number. It's a vintage number.
Yeah.
And a lot of people. You have to be a particular age to know it.
Yes.
And I love doing it in front of a young audience because they're getting to see something that's old from someone that's not as old as they are.
Annie actually did it at the Sip This show, Ashley Jade's show in Valley Stream, and it was predominantly a young audience, and they loved it. Yeah. They went crazy over it.
Because the whole song is about double entendre.
Yes.
Which I love songs like that. I love songs like that. They're great. Because they're fun. You can play with them and you play with the audience. And the audience plays with you. So
yes.
It's fun. So,
yes. Yeah. Well, that's one of your great talents is you know how to gauge an audience.
Yes.
You know how to give the audience what they want. Or even if they don't know what they want, you give them something and you make them want it.
Well, that also comes from being prepared. You know, if I'm going to pick a number, I'm like, okay, this will go across the board.
Well, what's that saying you always say? If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
Right. Stay ready, so that way you don't have to get ready.
Stay ready, so you don't have to get ready.
Yeah.
So words to live by. So.
Because you never know. I mean, I wasn't even supposed to do the show Sunday night, and Ivy messaged me to message Trinity, and I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And honestly, I had just did a show Friday, a children's show Friday with Ivy, and I was doing nothing Saturday. I was not planning on doing anything Sunday, and I got this little text, and I was like, yeah, I can do it. And the only reason why I could do it is because I have stuff that's ready. I knew the kind of crowd I was going to go for. Right. I was like, okay, I'll pull these classic numbers that I know and show up at the bar and do a show.
Right. Well, that was like when I did Drag Bingo with Ivy at Shabby Tabby. They messaged me that afternoon.
Can you do it? Right.
Yeah, they were just like, one of the other person who was going to do it had to drop out unexpectedly. They messaged me last minute and they were like, can you do it? I'm like, yeah. So, and...
Put it on and go.
There you go.
Get a good shade.
Tell my husband, quick, tease up another wig. We gotta hit the road.
Can you knock this one in shape? I'm going.
We're actually, even though this is my studio, this is actually the Wig Wizards hair symposium. So
yes, there's some wonderful art around
you can see the many heads of Toni Homeperm all around us. So
which is great. It's great.
Oh, people are telling us that we look great.
Thank you.
We know that.
So much.
You know that.
I like hearing you. Keep saying it. Makes me know I'm doing my job right.
Yes. So now, speaking of drag on Long Island, where do you see the drag scene headed on Long Island? Or where would you like to see it go?
First of all, I would like to see more LGBTQ spaces. Once upon a time ago, we had bars, we had nightclubs.
A lot.
We had a lot. What happened really is that the owners got older and sold their businesses and to people who don't know how to do this. And so things started to disappear. I mean, we have maybe 3 gay bars on Long Island right now. New Bar, Veranda, and I want to say the Rail, but I'm not sure.
Oh, I don't even know that one.
Anyway, so, you know, that was what happened. I mean, we used to have a bunkhouse, which moved, and now it's no longer. Thunders, which the building is still there, and that's no longer. So, yeah, we used to have these spaces that we go to. Now, it's very hard. Either you go to Fire Island or you go to the city. And I always say, you know, Long Island is a big island. And, you know, no shade to my New York Queens and New York City at all, but we can literally build that city 1,000 times over on Long Island. And people either go to a small strip of land, bypass this big old island to go to a smaller strip of land to see, to live their gay lives and see drag shows and things like that. It would be really great if we had more spaces on Long Island that are just in the middle ground, so that way you could see a lot more entertainment.
Yes.
Fortunately for us right now, spaces are tending to open up, you know, where they wouldn't before. I mean, we're performing at One Eye Jack's, which is known as just a regular straight bar, but thanks to Ivy and Olivia and the managers there, we did a night and it just started to flourish.
Right.
So, which is a great thing, even to the owners of at Governor's Comedy. We've been there a few times. You know, we've done some shows for them, and things are good. I just think the audiences is a changeover. I was asked this before, but I was saying a lot of gay people are used to drag queens. They see us all the time. They go to the bars. They know I don't want to say they're over it, but they're kind of over it, as opposed to our allies and our straight people. It's like this thing. It's like, oh my God, I want to go to a drag show.
Yes.
And, you know, I always say have shoes will travel if you want to see me. And they're the ones that we're being booked by, which is fantastic.
I know.
I think also it's because, you know, our times have changed. You know, everybody has somebody gay in their family.
Oh, yes.
You know, they always have, but now we're living our lives and they're finding out that, you know what, we're just normal.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to get up, we got to go to work, we got to pay bills.
We are so completely normal.
We're normal people. But yeah, so that's really the thing. And as for it going forward, I'd like to see more of it, actually. I'd like to see what other places in the United States are doing here in New York. I mean, there's a lot of art and a lot of culture and a lot of different kinds of drag. Even, I'm not even talking about, you know, women doing drag and bearded drag queens.
Right.
There are other kinds of artists that are doing the medium.
Yes.
So it's one of those things where I just want to see all that come together, where it's just like, okay, we've got literally everything to see.
Yes.
But then again, like I said, it's having a space, trying to find the space. I mean, we're still in a recession, people. We're only doing what we can. There's only so much money. I mean, there's people like, I want to open up a club. Are you a millionaire? You know?
Yeah.
Because on the business end, that's a whole other thing.
Absolutely.
You know, I never mind having just a show.
Right.
And as you know, I mean, you're putting together your own shows. It's a beast to put together. And then now you want to perform it. Where?
Right. Exactly.
So it's things like that. I also would like to see it. I like to see people rent out theaters and do shows there. You know, because as I said, drag is a theatrical art form.
Right.
And I hate to say it, my queens, it's a theatrical art form. People in the theater were doing it first. They've been doing it for centuries before it became a thing. Now it's a thing.
Dressed resembling a girl.
Yes,
D-R-A-G.
Exactly. So,
Shakespeare.
Yeah. Even before then, even before he gave it a name.
True.
Men were doing it then.
Yes, because women were not allowed to perform on stage.
Yeah. Do you know why?
I don't know. I don't know why.
Why? Well, the real reason is women were supposed to be the meeker sex, and they were not allowed to travel great distances without male accompaniment. Women and children, actually. And if you think about it, I mean, if you're traveling, there were bandits. There were dangerous roads.
True.
So, you know, if you were a woman...
Oh, yeah.
You know, anything could happen to you. So these troops of actors were all men. which made sense. And then, of course, as time has gone on, women were jumping into the theater. And the strange thing about that is that they were no longer using men for female roles, so they were giving it to women, but they were giving women pants roles to play boys as love interests. So Romeo and Juliet was originally done by a man and a man, and then it became two girls because women were fair-faced. They didn't shave. They looked like children. Right. You know, so that's how that began. So drag kings were back then, so were drag queens. So yeah, just started to evolve.
Gender it's all an illusion, people. It's all an illusion. It's all up here. Yeah. This can all be easily disguised, altered. Yeah. So people don't realize that. Here's a quick one. Drag mothers, yes or no?
As I have one, or just in general?
Just in general.
Well, I don't have one. I never had one. I have people who are drag queens who help me with the art, like putting makeup together and things like that. But it all depends on the person. Mm-hmm. It all depends on what's happening in their lives at the time. Mm-hmm. Some people love having one. Right. Some people need to have one. Right. But it's I don't know. There's pros and cons to both. Mm-hmm. Because if you're a terrible one, you want everyone to be what you want them to be. Mm-hmm. If you're a good one, you let them flourish. Mm-hmm. You know, you pull them back and say, okay, you need to do this, that, and the other. Right. But then, like parents, when you have children, you got to set them out and kick them out the nest. Go do what you need to do. Mm-hmm. So if you're lucky enough to have one, God bless you. Mm-hmm. If you're not, God bless you. Mm-hmm. Because ultimately, you have to do it. Mm-hmm. You still have to do the art. You still have to figure out what works for you.
And actually, as far as drag, some of the best advice I ever got was from Ivy Stalls, who said, "Don't listen to anybody else and do what you want."
That's it. It's true.
It's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. Because everyone will give you an opinion about something. You know,
everybody.
You should wear. Someone will tell you, you should wear your hair down. The next person will tell you, you should wear your hair up. You should use this color. No, you should use that color.
I'm that person who says, so what do you want to do?
Right.
What do you want to look like? I can help you get close to what you want to do, but I can't do it for you. So what is it that you want to do? Right. You know, which is another thing. That's why we got the Google and whatnot. Do a little bit of research. Although I will say there's such thing as too much research. Oh, yes. Way too much research.
Especially if you're a hypochondriac and you've got a rash or something. You start looking at it and you're like, oh my God, I've got this tropical disease. I only have 3 weeks to live. Turns out it's just the heartbreak of psoriasis.
Go see a doctor. But yeah, it's fun.
Okay, now we're experiencing, as I call it, a renaissance of drag on Long Island, and you actually were at the beginning really of it.
Yeah, I came along when everyone stopped doing it.
Yeah.
Me and Annie Manley do,
right?
And a couple of people doing things.
Yeah, but as far as the ones still doing it from it sort of re-emerging, you and Annie are the ones who have been doing the longest time now.
We've been trying to be seen.
Yes. Yes. So, as far as this renaissance of drag on Long Island, what do you view as the best parts of it? What do you think are the worst?
The best parts is that you're being seen. The best parts is that, everyone's accepting what it is. Mm-hmm. The best parts is meeting people who love what we do and don't know why. But love
because
what
we're crazy.
The worst parts for me is the fact that there's a lack of space to do it. It's really the sad part about it. But hey, anybody who's out there watching and you got a space and you want a show, look us up.
It is up.
We got Facebook pages. We've got websites. Instagram. Twitter.
Please don't tweet me.
I
beg of you, don't tweet me.
I don't have a Twitter. I don't have that Snapchat either. I don't get it. But anyway,
I understand all that technology.
Right. But yeah, that's the downfall of it, is not having enough spaces, because there's more than enough queens to go around to see shows. I mean,
absolutely.
You can wallpaper the wall with queens on Long Island.
Right now, yes, it's been well, that's why I say it's like a drag renaissance on Long Island, because for a long time there was no drag on Long Island.
I guess you went to Fire Island during the summer, or you paid $30 to go into the city by the train, and then paid $30 for your drink at the bar. Anyway, okay, it's not that much, but it's expensive.
It's close.
$8.
I know.
For like a water. Anyway, really
ridiculous.
But yeah, that's the pros and cons of it. But it's fun when we all get together and we're able to do an event. You know, you can literally see in the faces of the audience like, oh my God, I love this, or oh my God, I miss this. You know, and it's like, you know, we're here.
Yes,
you know, we'll be.
Yes,
like I say, we'll be there.
And one of the things that I enjoy about it is like the friendships.
Yes.
That I've developed among my sisters. Getting back to drag mothers, I will never be anyone's drag mother.
Neither will I.
I've had my tubes tied, so there will be no conception. But I love having drag sisters.
Yes.
Love having drag sisters, and anytime anybody needs help or advice, I'm there. But that's it. I'm like, sister only.
Well, not bad for doing this for a year and a half now.
It's like we just went over. I just went over 2 years.
Yeah.
Because the drag cabaret always marks.
That's right.
My birthday as a drag queen.
Okay.
So the first one was 2017.
Yes.
So 2018 was 1 year, and this now 2019 is 2 years. 2 years.
I've been doing this for 6.
But you see, this is the thing. There are like photos of me from like. I'm gonna reveal it now. From like 1967, I think. It was a wee little thing, and I dressed up in one of my mother's wigs and put on like her negligee.
Oh, what gay little kid didn't?
And like my parents at the time thought it was a hoot and like took these pictures of me. I don't know where they went, but they do exist somewhere. And and I loved it, and I guess I wanted to keep doing it. So they thought it was funny the first time, but then the second time it was like, no, you can't keep doing that. No,
but that's it's a different time and a different place.
Yes, nowadays we have parents that are accepting of that, and
we've got kid drag queens.
I mean, that's probably what I would have. That's probably what I would have been. I
know I would have been.
Queen.
But who would have ever thought in this day and age you would see a child under the age of 10
never
doing drag?
Never.
Which is an interesting thing. I'm torn on the subject, but still, I think that parents that let their children express themselves is the greatest gift you could give your child.
Well, I met Desmond is amazing when I performed at Stonewall, and him and his whole family was there. He's never by himself. Right. His parents are always with him, so because it just aggravates me when I see like these horrible comments being said about him and his family. And when I actually spoke more to Desmond's mom than Desmond. He was just being a regular kid. He was running up and down the street and the sidewalk rather, not the street. And got to be careful because
it's Manhattan.
But I was talking to his mom, and I said, what you do is so amazing. I said, and really, you're not doing anything other than just letting him be who he wants to be. It's these people who like write things about she's the parents are forcing him to do this.
Right.
They're pimping him out and these horrible things. They get me so angry when I see that because his parents are not doing anything like that. They're kind, loving people, and they're just letting him live his authentic self.
But not only that, I mean, we all play dress up as kids.
Right.
I mean, there's no telling what Desmond will be when he grows up.
Right.
He might be a drag queen, he might not.
Right. If he decided tomorrow he doesn't want to do it anymore, his mom and dad would have no problem with it whatsoever. They're like, if he said, "Oh, you know what? I don't want to do drag anymore. I want to be a football player," they would support him. They support him whatever he wants to do. That's what people don't get is they're just being supportive parents. And that's what this world needs is parents that are
support. This world needs parents who parent. Anyway, but that's a whole other.
Have you been to Walmart lately, girl?
Walmart, even in
those
schools,
kids are running around
in regular public schools. It's like you don't have a parent, do you?
Oh goodness!
But yeah, it's a different day and age,
yes.
and I'm glad to see that kids are expressing themselves. But then again, I never had to come out. I was born, and it is what it is. So I lived my life the way it is. So every now and then I have friends who say, "Oh, I just came out." And I'm like, "What is that like?" Because I don't know what it's like. So,
yeah, no,
you know what I mean. So, and then when you hear the stories, and when you hear all the different kinds of stories where kids were put out, or even parents who've come to terms and accepted, I'm like, all of this, and all because of something that really doesn't involve your parenting at all.
True.
Doesn't involve you.
Right.
It would be creepy if it did.
Yeah.
So don't worry about what your children is doing with other people. That's not important. The fact that they're decent human beings in society is more important.
That's the most important thing. Children don't need to know what's going on in the parents' bedroom, and the parents don't need to know what's going on in the offspring's bedrooms when they are of legal age.
Weird.
Let me put it.
That's how I've always looked at it. I'm like, that's weird.
Somebody asking where are the cocktails? Here, our Dom Perignon. It's ginger ale. Don't tell anyone.
It's delicious. I love it. But yeah, it's fun.
Oh, Olivia London is watching. Hello, Olivia.
Hey, her eyes on.
Oh, you're too funny. Okay, so we're touching on some deeper subjects. Oh. So I want to ask you. Do you remember? I think it was in the summer. There was that incident at the Monster. With Honey Davenport.
Yes, I do.
Where like they it was a whole series of tweets and receipts that were posted.
Yes. That
they were saying they said like the flyer looked too black or something like that.
Yes.
And and there was a lot of controversy.
But you would think
about that.
But you would think there wouldn't be, because New York City is a melting pot. Everyone's there.
Right.
But it happens. It just happens, and you have to roll with the punches. She handled it well.
Mm-hmm.
But there's always that time when you have to stand up and say no. Mm-hmm. This is not right.
Right.
And I want to say kudos to the people for rectifying it. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, that shouldn't have happened in the first place.
Exactly.
But but a lot of things are happening like that in the media, which is unfortunate.
Yes.
Because you would like to think in this day and age we have come farther, and we're still fighting.
Yes.
But it's still a good day. It's still a good day.
So let me ask you, as a drag queen of color, do you find that being a drag queen of color, does that affect you getting booked or anything like that?
I don't think so. Only because I'm not looking at it on that aspect. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at it from entertainment. Mm-hmm. On that aspect. It does. I unfortunately, theater has taught me this. It doesn't matter what color you are. You all have to come together to create an art and put it and present it in front of people. Mm-hmm. So that's always have been my mindset for that. So I never thought about being a black drag queen. I never thought about being a gay performer or anything like that. I'm just there to entertain.
Which she does.
But then also, my brain's different. Mm-hmm. My logic is different. Mm-hmm. I'm able to see a lot of things. I have a friend who only sees things in black and white. And I'm like, no, there is a huge gray area. And if you're aware of the gray area, it makes you even more aware of a lot of things. You're able to see so many different sides and facets to many different things. And then I can make my decision whether I want to be bothered or not. Mm-hmm. And so for me, no, I just go out. I put myself out there to put myself out there. And I haven't been, I haven't come across anything in my time doing this where it was a race issue or anything like that. But then I was raised, treat people how you want to be treated, which says a lot. It says a lot. And know that you have to be aware, but you still have to not be afraid to just do.
Right.
And so yeah, I just go out and I do the best me that I can because that's all I got.
Well, and you do a fabulous job. So I am one of your biggest fans.
Oh, thank you.
I hope you don't mind me touching on deeper subjects.
No, not at all.
But that I felt was as a person of color, you would have a different insight into something like that than this old white woman.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a white woman. Please know myself. But my mother grew
She
up.
just tans really well.
Really? I mean, actually, I turned red. But yeah, my mother, when she was back in her youth, she was a part of the Black Panthers and things like that.
Wow.
And so when I came into the world, I was surrounded by every kind of person you can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
So, and she was that person who says, if I can't answer the question, I know someone can answer it for me. And so, yeah, I asked questions. I asked everything that I could ask. So that way, now that I'm an adult, I have a different way of moving through the world. So it's a good thing to be able to be like, I recognize that person over there being shady. I recognize that person over there being evil. I recognize that, and navigate. So that's really what it is, and hearing people for who they are. Because sometimes, what is that statement? When someone shows you who they are, believe
it. Yes.
And that's the thing.
Yes.
You have to believe what you're seeing. Even though this is an illusion, there's a lot that creates it. So, whatever falls out someone's mouth, you really need to hear.
Yes.
Because everyone drops a dime, and you have to pick it up. If you don't pick it up, you might get lost in the shuffle.
That's right.
So, and that's one of the great things that I've learned. Just to always be aware, but hey girl, how you doing?
That's
I see
right.
you over there.
That's right.
And you're over there for a reason. So yeah, that's it.
Well, I appreciate your sharing that with all of us because I at least now as I'm putting together shows and things like that, I always strive to have a diverse cast.
Yeah.
And
as well one should.
Yes.
I mean, you want to people it with people who can give everything.
Right.
Or see everything because that's the point of a show. I mean,
if you have one flavor all the time, it's very boring.
Right, and that's the thing. When you're at a bar, when you're at a club, the show is there to have fun with. But if you're able to give people an education on different things, they become more aware. They become more self-aware and want to know more. And so it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Yes,
really
absolutely. See, you get a lot of information when you watch the Toni Homeperm show. So, I think I already asked you that because about looking at my questions. Forgive me.
There's nothing wrong with that.
So I kind of touched on this. I was going to ask you
about
how you move between the old school drag and the new school
drag. Well, the
funny
thing about that also is
with
because
I'm performances.
But I'm also in theater, so
True.
it made doing drag a lot easier. So and being on the stage and being in front of people night after night after night. You get used to wearing makeup. You get used to wearing costumes and wigs and uncomfortable wear. So it's it's not really as for me. For other people, it's different. But for me, this is not that complicated. It is complicated. Don't get me wrong, but it's not that complicated because I'm like Friday I was Snoopy. Okay. 2 months ago, I was Maleficent in a production of Sleeping Beauty. You know what I mean? I was the Cat in a Hat.
Right.
Later that night, I was in full drag. I went from one pussy to another. So it's just a part of the job. So, and that's how I usually think about doing the shows. It's like I've been booked to do a show. Let's put on this costume, this makeup. Let's go and be entertaining. Let's give the show. Let's give a great show.
That's right.
And that's pretty much it. And people last night. Gave me a lot of wonderful compliments, which I thank you very much. But yeah.
Well, they should.
But
it's fabulous.
But there, how some people give you a compliment that if you're not listening for it, but then you hear it. Someone came up to me. She goes, She says, I've been to drag shows and I've never been so entertained. And I was like, oh, well, we're glad that you came. She was like, no, the level of what we're doing is different than what she's seen. And I'm like, wow, I was like, I don't know what we're doing. We're just going out there just having fun, but I'm glad that it has changed your perspective of what you see. So yeah, it was a very interesting statement that was said to me last night. So I was like, wow, I'm glad I was the one that you saw.
Yes, well, that's always nice to hear when somebody is enjoying what you do, because it's a lot of work to do drag.
It is.
It's not even though like even me, who's cut down my getting ready time from way back when it was like almost like 8 hours to like now it's like I'm under 2. So
I'm 45 minutes.
So I can't imagine ever getting ready that quick.
Well, that's the great thing about doing theater. It's just that, you rehearse forever, but now you're in the show. And you know that the curtain opens 8 o'clock no matter what. Right. So if you come in 7:30,
you gotta move.
And it's gotta be right, because you gotta walk on the stage and look like a person to do all this stuff.
Yes.
So and that's helped me a lot. Getting into this and just putting it on. And even when I'm not even doing a show, I put it on. I'll do a clean shave and I'll just sit in the mirror and just do a face, because
actually you're one of the few people that you'll just for fun get in front of the phone and just start putting your makeup on Facebook, and I'm like I don't have the courage.
Well, I mean, because it's a process, it really is. But yeah, I mean, it's just that I laugh all the time that some people's like, it takes me 3 hours. And I'm like, it's powder and foundation and a little lip and some lashes and some powdered eyeshadow. It's kind of paint by number. Yes, everyone's skin tone is different and everyone needs to do different things and everybody uses different products. But really, if you have it in a step, you almost should fly through it. So, but it takes time.
Yes.
It takes time to do it.
Yes.
Because,
I know I found like having, doing it now on a week, month, many
monthly,
times during the week, having to do it. It's just, I've sort of gotten into like a groove where I'm like, I know I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and it's just comes together quicker. But
do you ever listen to music or watch a movie when you do it?
Usually no. Sometimes music.
I watch Clue.
Clue? Oh, I love Clue.
And literally by
flames coming out of the side.
By the time they get to that, I'm ready to leave. So I have it down to a science, literally from the foundation on. When they get to the scene where the butler is giving out all of the background on everybody. By the time they get to Mrs. White and she laughs and says, "Why is that funny about her husband?" I'm working on my eyes. So it's like I have it to a science. I could literally just sit and put that movie on, and I know exactly where I need to be at one moment.
Well, that's gotta help. It's sort of like
it does. It's just really funny. It's just like sometimes some people need some noise in the background, and that's what it was. It was just noise in the background, and I was just like, I watch this way too often. Oh my God, I am finished. And I would look at the clock, and I'm like, 45 minutes.
Oh, jeez.
And if I need to rush, 25. So,
I don't know if I'll ever be that quick.
It's all in the blender.
So, but
once you slap it on, you gotta blend it.
I have those man brows that have to be glued down too. Don't forget.
Well, that's true.
So
I understand that.
So
I don't glue my brows down. I hate that.
So yes, well, my husband likes my man brows, so I have to keep them.
Someone said that. Someone went live earlier and said the same thing.
Like, about their man brows.
Yeah, I'm not shaving my brows because I get lazy.
Oh, I think it was Miss Vanjie.
Yes. It was so funny. I was like, well, that's one reason not to. But yeah.
Oh, yes. So you'll never see Toni Homeperm as a boy without brows. Sorry. Your best tips for someone just starting in drag, and for someone who's been doing it for a long time. What would be your best tips?
For someone who's starting
out. We're playing Drag Mama now.
I would say your costumes don't have to be expensive. They don't. It's great to know that you can budget yourself. It's great to know that you have to be a little crafty. Oh, well, you should be a little crafty when you're creating your wardrobe. I also think you also need to have wardrobe to be seen in as well as to perform in. A lot of people, back in the day, a lot of people would go out to try to get a job. They were dressed in something like what Tony's wearing or what I'm wearing to go to meet the managers of bars and you know, things like that, to be like, hey, I'm a drag queen, this is what I do, and if you look presentable, they want to talk to you.
Right.
And it's the same thing when if you're going to go in drag and you're going to visit someone doing a show. You want to always look presentable, and it doesn't have to cost a lot of money.
No.
Now, costumes also, because everyone has a different mindset on what they want to look like in drag, baby steps. Baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. We all can't walk down looking like Mama Ru. Mama Ru's got thousands upon thousands of dollars to put, and people to put her together.
Yes.
You have to do it on your own. Basics are everything. The little black dress is a great black dress. Throw some stones on it, it's a showpiece. And it could cost you $3. But and you work your way up to it. You work your way up to it. So yeah, that's one thing that I can say. Shop and know your size as a woman. Know your size as a woman. Understand that, you know, as men, we are much larger than our lady counterparts. So certain things don't work in you know, for the certain things don't necessarily work for you in drag. You also have to be aware of how you put yourself together, as in your body, what your body is going to look like when you put something on. You want to wear something backless, but you have foundation garments. You might not want to wear something backless.
Yeah, no.
You know, you want to wear something where everything it hangs off the body. That's great. But remember, you're still a man trying to be a woman. You don't have a woman's physique or figure. You want to walk around in a halter top and you have no breasts. I hate to say it, flat-chested women have breasts. You don't. You just have pecs. It doesn't look the same.
No.
You know? So especially if you're trying to look like a woman. Now, if you're doing, you know, what is it? Gender fuck? What is that called?
Oh,
that
yes.
thing. Androgyny. Yeah, if you're doing that, yeah, but then even androgyny either can go really good or really bad. So that's something to be mindful of. And as people who are doing it forever, I say keep doing it. I say keep doing it. I say the more you do it, the more people younger will get to see. You know, they need to know that it really doesn't matter the age.
I knew she'd have something.
And be patient with the children. Be patient with the children. That's the best thing about growing older, is because we've been there and done that. Have t-shirts, made t-shirts. We've already did it. And these kids who are coming in thinking they know everything, sometimes you have to let them fall on their faces. And with that being said, to the young ones, a little respect. A little respect, because if it hadn't have been for them, you wouldn't be doing it. You wouldn't be doing it. So give them their respect. Give them their due, and watch them closely, because they have experience where you don't. Okay, that's why they're able to turn a party doing a ballad, and you can't. Okay, there's something to be said about that. So yeah, it's all of the above. Keep doing what you're doing, but you know, always keep learning.
Yes.
Always keep a fresh mind. You know. So yeah.
I actually, talking about somebody like turning out a ballad. I was at investitures for Imperial Court of New York last night at Industry, and one of the newest members of the court is Egypt Labelle.
Yes.
From the House of Labelle. And there's actually
amazing
a video of it, and she did I Will Survive, but the version that starts out as
slow
a ballad.
Yeah.
Oh my God, she was amazing. She was fabulous. I mean,
and you don't see things like that
no,
anymore.
No, you don't.
That's something that, you know, young ones could do. You know, we got this YouTube. Pull up old drag shows. Pull up people who have been doing it, who no longer do it. And watch. Just watch. Or go to a show. Go to one of the court shows. And just watch. Just see what these dolls do. Because nobody can do what they do. And what they are doing, not that it's dying out, it's just that it's classic.
Yes.
It's classic, and it's so good. And it's so much drama. Even the fluff, there's so much drama, and they are they're literally touching people. They don't touch anybody, but they're literally emoting. And you can't, either you have it or you don't. It's something you can learn, but yeah, watch old drag shows, watch old drag queens. They're amazing. They're fierce. Fierce.
Yeah, she was
amazing.
She was amazing.
Stand in a pit spot in an evening gown and everyone's like, "Here's your money."
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
just that good.
Exactly.
Please, oh, I love that. I really do. I love people who can do that, even if it's not drag queens, cabaret performers who can just stand at a microphone and just give you a story. Just it's nothing like it.
And the great thing about it is because we're seeing a lot of young drag queens, and it's like so many of them are doing like the same sort of.
Well, that's because they're doing what's popular. You can't fault them for that. But it doesn't enable you to stand out either. True.
If everybody's doing the same Ariana Grande song again and again, it's like
it happens. But it happens.
It does happen.
Which is again when you were talking about picking music and things like that and being current and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, I found a website where people take current music. Most people know it. Current music and turn it on its ear in a different arrangement. Which,
well, that's me. I sing the postmodern jukebox.
Me too. I do postmodern jukebox because you've got really talented people who actually have studied music, who actually can sing, can play actual instruments, and they do these great twist arrangements, and then
they're not being auto-tuned.
No, they're definitely not. One shot, and playing something like that in my show, and I do a number like that to see the young audiences recognize a song that they love in a different way is always great, because that's one great way of keeping current and giving someone something different. I mean, I do a number, I do a postmodern, I Want It That Way by the Backstreet Boys, by Postmodern Jukebox. And usually if I'm in a show, I'll do it in something that I'm dressed like I'm from 1950 something. Because of their arrangement of it, and no one's expecting it, and it's like, I've just gotten a whole storyline that I wasn't expecting to get with this song. So it's that's how I think about a lot of numbers too. How can I do this number, make it interesting, and get a story across?
Right, yes. Well, that's another thing I think you and I share is with our numbers, we're trying to tell an entire story, like from the costuming to the song. It's like we're storytellers.
Yes, well, that's what every drag queen is to me anyway. At least you're your one man show.
Right.
You're producing everything. So you got to make sure that everything is right. And so that way when you put it in front of an audience, you don't fail. You crossed every T, you dotted every I, and all you can do is just walk out on the stage and say, here it is.
Yes, and one thing that you do when you are doing a number where you're dancing, she still maintains the lip sync people, because I've seen some performers, won't name any names, but they're busy dancing, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, did she forget that they were, she's supposed to be lip syncing to the song?
I'm not gonna lie, there are times where words don't come. I'm just getting older.
But that's rare. It's rare.
But then it goes again, choosing your music, choosing songs that you like, choosing music that you like, choosing, knowing that these lyrics makes it even easier to pick stuff. I'm gonna do Aretha Franklin's night, and give a performance. I'm gonna do this number and give the performance. So it's also, no, editing yourself is another good thing. I want to do this, that, and the other. Yeah, I'm a dancer, but I'm not gonna dance from the first downbeat all the way through. There are lyrics that I gotta get through, number one. Number two, I want you to know that the lyrics. I want you to sing the lyrics with me. I want you to see that, although it's not my voice, for all intents and purposes, it's my voice. Yes. So I'm going to speak. I'm going to sing. I am going to deliver this song. That's the job. And then I dance and do a split and then collapse in the corner going, why did I do that again?
But you don't know it when she's performing.
Well, yes you do. I'm sweating bullets. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun. I enjoy it.
Well, we wouldn't do it if we didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
And if you aren't enjoying it, maybe you should do something else.
Well, but also a lot, and that's another thing with the young people. Everyone wants to be a star.
Yeah.
Which is a lovely idea on paper, but what you don't seem to understand is that stars work. That's why they're stars. They you want to be a singer, you got to learn to sing. You want to be a dancer, you better be at ballet class. You know,
you want fame? Well, fame costs. And right here is where you start paying.
And sweat. But it's true. It really is true. Before I was doing this, I was working professionally and doing theater and traveling. And I originally auditioned to go to Juilliard. Oh. And I realized that ballet was not going to be my life. But musical theater happened. And it was a little easier because I had training to dance. Right. So I just needed to learn to sing. And which is still coming. I sing, but But yeah, so, with that experience, that's what I got. And that's what I'm given. I'm showing you what I can do.
And you do. She's always fabulous. She's always fabulous. Olivia and I, we're always...
And I try my hardest not to be like, told you. I was choreographing a show, and it was funny. I was choreographing a show, and I was trying to figure out some kind of step, and I was saying, okay, I need you to do so and so, and I got a little lost. And she goes, I can do it. I can do anything. I'm 18. And I looked at her and I was like, but I can do it better, and I'm older. And which was funny because I showed her how to do it, and she couldn't do it. And I was like, I know what I'm doing. It's like
fried green tomatoes. Face it, girls, I'm older and I have more insurance. As she rams her car into yours.
Yeah, well, it's true. But yeah.
I want to see if we have any comments. There's Mother. Mother's saying that this hair would look so much better on her.
Which one?
Not!
Don't you have this hair? Don't you have it in several colors?
Oh, Ashley Jade is watching. Hey, Ash! Harriola Grande, who is this gorge queen with you? Tag her. It's Lady Labelle. I don't know what this is. Monkey's brain soup. I don't know what that means. Monkey brain soup. I don't know. Muffy Blake Stevens said, you have to do you, which takes time to discover who you are. That's very true.
It's very, very
That's
true.
very true.
Very, very true. Very few of us come into this world understanding exactly what we're supposed to do and supposed to be. And even if you have an inkling, there's growing pains. There's always going to be growing pains. So, you got to get out there and just wing it. Because that's all we can do. We can wing it until something works.
Yes, absolutely. I don't know if I angled this camera right, but I guess the Toni Homeperm is still going through its technical infancy.
You've got sequin fabric and
Do you love this?
Yes.
I got this with my 60% off coupon, and of course afterwards Olivia told me she had an 80% off coupon.
Isn't it always the way?
Why didn't you give me that coupon? I could have used that coupon, girl.
Isn't it always the way, though? It makes me want to do dream girls all over
Muffy Blake Stevens says, Monkey's brain soup is a Clue reference. Oh, I don't remember that.
Monkey brain soup. Not often found in Washington, D.C.
It's been years since I've seen the movie.
It's Mrs. Peacock's favorite dish.
Oh, is it?
When she's eating, she's just like literally shoveling, and she goes, "Oh my God, it's one of my favorite recipes." And without a beat, Wadsworth goes, "I know, madam." And then she goes back to it. I'm like, first of all, he knows that's creepy, but yeah, it's that movie. I love that movie, and it's now going to be a play on Broadway.
I know.
It's coming to the Great White Way.
I want to see what time we're at here. Oh my goodness, we went past an hour.
Oh wow!
I'm very surprised, but that's because you have so much to say, and she says it so intelligently and concisely. So, but I know you guys don't mind. You'd have Lady Labelle all night.
Oh jeez. Frank, pull out the palette. I'm sleeping. No,
you can play with wigs while we're asleep. Robert Rosencrantz, aka Lily Bloom, says you ladies are fabulous. Thank you so much. I love Lily Bloom. So, why don't we talk a little bit about our big plans that are going to be happening?
Okay.
So this is a biggie. Now, Olivia London already revealed this, that she's going to be doing her show, she said, on Strong Island TV.
Yes.
But what hasn't been revealed until this very moment is her two co-hosts are Lady Labelle and Toni Homeperm.
Yay.
So we're very excited to be doing this with Olivia on Strong Island TV.
Starting soon, an hour-long show.
Yes, and I can actually tell you it's Tuesday. I thought I put it down here. I didn't put it down.
Don't worry, we'll put it in the comments.
It's Tuesday, June. I think it's June 25th. Whatever that Tuesday is of that week.
Right, just in time for Pride.
Yes, and it's going to be from 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Every Tuesday night on Strong Island TV, and so
it's fun. If you haven't, they have a Facebook page.
Yes,
look them up. It's like public access, but not. It's on. It's on. They have their own Facebook channel, which you get to see these episodes real time. And then they also put their shows out on television. I know out here where you are, it's on 55.
55,
yes. Over where I am, it's on Channel 14. So yeah, I've been on the couch of the Rudy Breedy show, which, oh my God, you have to do the show. You will have so much fun.
Rudy, hit me up, please!
it's so much fun. It's, you get to promote yourself, but you sit with different people and you just shoot.
Yeah, I watched it.
I love it. It's so much fun to do. But yeah, I'm excited.
Yes, we can't wait. We're very excited, and it's not just going to be drag queens. We're going to have all different people coming on that we'll be talking
all walks
with.
Of life.
All walks of life. But mainly focusing on the Long Island LGBTQ community.
Right. So hit us up if you have something that you want to promote. If you're doing things in the community, we want to highlight that. We want to see that.
Yes, and I believe also if you have a business or something that you want to promote, hit up Olivia London. She's handling all that. I don't have time to handle that. I'm too busy. I got to get to the gig, okay?
Right. Annie will Annie make it to the gig?
Oh, she always makes it. Who's she kidding?
I just kind of want that in the background. Will Annie make it to the gig?
Will she make it to the gig? She'll make it, girl. She'll make it. And I also wanted to talk a little bit. This is going to be a show that you and Olivia and myself and some other drag artists and performers are going to be doing. It's going to be Saturday, August 10th, and we're calling it Transformation, and it's trans with the number 4
for our trans community. Yes.
This is to benefit the Transgender Day of Remembrance on Long Island, and this is a benefit that we're going to be doing, and it's going to be held at Long Island Community Fellowship.
Awesome.
In West Babylon. That's going to be 8 p.m. and I'm going to be posting a lot of stuff about that. And
I post everything.
Olivia will be posting.
It doesn't matter if someone's doing something in the community. I'm like, everyone needs to know about it.
She's the nicest person. She's not even in the show, and she posts it and promotes it. And I have to thank you so much. In your Thodacy interview, you were promoting my drag cabaret.
Well, what's cool
thank
about
you so much
for
doing that. I mean, she didn't have to do that.
Well, I mean, it's great. The first time I ever saw my name in print in that was like a year or so ago, and Mr. Silvestri is the person who literally goes to every place in New York and finds out what's going on, and he found out that we were doing stuff, and he started to put us in his blog, and so I just sent him a poster because I knew something was coming up, and people should know about it, and he put it out, and it didn't matter who it was, and then from that he interviewed me, which I was just like, oh my God, I'm gonna be on his blog. It was fun. But
you deserve the recognition.
Thank you. So. But yeah, I always think we're better if we help each other.
Absolutely.
And I don't have to do everything. I don't have to be in every show. But knowing that my friends are out there doing things, people should go and see.
Absolutely.
You should go and support. I mean, that's one on my my profile picture. It says support your local drag queens.
Yes.
But really support your local artists.
Yes.
I mean, we have everything on Long Island. We've got theaters, we've got orchestras, we've got ballet and dance companies right here in your own backyard. And it's less expensive than going.
Oh my God! Yes.
Don't get me wrong. Now I love a Broadway show, but there are some companies out here who are very good at what they do.
Well,
and it's like a $20 ticket as opposed to a $200 some odd dollar.
Well, at the theater you work at, Merrick Theater, it's been a while since I've been able to get to the theater, but I did see when they did Sweeney Todd there,
yes.
And oh my God, that was like Broadway level talent.
We tried. There's a lot of talented people on this island.
That production of Sweeney Todd.
A lot of talented people on this island.
Yes.
You're just like, oh my God, I didn't know you could do that.
Yes, and you don't have to travel all the way into the city and pay for the parking and all that rigmarole.
I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'm not slamming Broadway. Go to a Broadway show if you can. Do it by all means.
Absolutely.
But, we're out here doing things.
Yes. And currently my friends at Eastline Theater, they're putting on a production of Antigone.
Oh my God.
So
I saw pictures. It looks amazing.
Yes. So if you can, go and see that. I have things coming up. I'm actually going to be performing at Eastline and Creative Ministries.
Yes.
I'm gonna be on stage there.
Awesome. You'll love them. You'll love it. You'll love them. They're sweet people. They work really hard to just keep theater going. Yes. They really do. Mm-hmm. All of us really do, because we love the arts. We just do. Mm-hmm. And, we put our hearts and our soul into it, and we just, you got to put it out there. Mm-hmm. And it's fun. It's different. And that's another thing, young drag queens, and old ones. There's something to be said about doing a play or a musical, especially if you don't have a lot of experience in front of an audience. This is something that you have to do in repetition.
Yes.
That you have to be on your P's and Q's and on your chops. So if you sing, do a musical and sing. Mm-hmm. Do it, and do it in front of an audience. You get comfortable. Yes. You want to dance? Do a musical. Dance. Things like that. A lot of
the only way you get better at doing something is to
do it.
Keep doing it. You can't.
Yeah, you can have a degree, but the degree doesn't work unless you actually use it.
Right.
So, and very few people, I fortunately have a dance degree, but I didn't use that. I went and auditioned, and either I got my job or I didn't.
Right.
So you gotta put your skills in motion.
You mean you couldn't just say, "Oh, look, I have a degree in dance. Put me in your show."
Means absolutely nothing. And I know tons of professional dancers who didn't go to school for dancing or anything. They just were just dancers and kept auditioning and got into something. So yeah, you gotta do it. And it's a different mindset, and it's a different way of preparing yourself. Especially for me doing drag, I'm prepared in such a way that I don't think about it. I come in. This is my costume. This is what I'm wearing. This is the look. Put it on and go.
I'm very much that way too. Yeah. It's like I get a lot of compliments from people say, "Oh, you have like a complete look," and it's like, and I do think about that. You have to put in the thought beforehand.
But everyone does. I think everyone does put thought through. It's just that for some people, it's not knowing what they're going to become. They have to find out what they're going to look like and how they can do it, so that way they can do whatever they want.
True.
That's trial and error.
Yes.
Some people who need some padding, some people don't need padding, believe it or not. Some people need breasts, some people don't. It's figuring it out. I want to wear this outfit. You can't wear that outfit because it's cut up to here and down to there. So what are you going to do? I'm going to wear another outfit.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, so it's fun. It's fun. It's a trial and error. You always have to. I always say you have to look at yourself before you try it out in public.
Yes.
That's why. Friends who know, I take pictures of myself just dressed because I want to see what it's going to be, and if I need to take something or change something. Maybe this dress doesn't work with this hair.
I'm constantly. I get something, from Amazon or wherever, and my husband's like, "Well, we'll try it on," and it's like, "No, you gotta put everything on, put all the undergarments on." And then I put it on, and he's like, "Can you send it back?"
That's one thing that I'm not a fan of. I love online shopping and I hate online shopping because I work partially in retail, so I get those people who come and try on a costume or something, and then they go, "Oh, well, I'll get it online," and I'm like, "But it's in your hand right now." And then they're like, no, but it's on the way, and they leave, and then they'll come back and they won't find the costume because it's been sold. And then they get mad at us for saying, well, you could have held it. Why didn't you hold it? Or why don't you have any more? And I'm like, because you wanted to buy it online.
Right.
When you had it in your hand. If you would have just taken it, you wouldn't be in a spot right now yelling at me over something I have no control over. So
don't you love retail?
I miss service merchandise and things like that. Miss them.
Yes, I worked retail in my.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Oh.
You kind of tend to forget how absent-minded people really are.
It's not fun.
Oh, I love that wig. That's great. I want to wear so-and-so. That's great. We'll put them on them. They're like, okay, so how do I make it look like yours? You brush it.
Somebody asked, is that a roach crawling on the background? Roach?
I don't see anything.
There are no roaches in my home.
There's no bugs on her, baby.
This is a home. A roach?
No, there's no bugs.
I'm insulted. My husband just commented. There are no roaches in our home. The only thing I have are cats.
Oh, the babies. They're so big. I love them. They're cute. But yeah, it's interesting doing this art. I mean, if you would have told me that at the years old that I would be running around in drag, I would have said, no, not me.
Well, I started at the ripe old age of 52.
But and it's interesting how things come to you.
I know.
It's very interesting. I was just like, yeah, okay, I'll do it. Let's see what happens.
I hope this isn't just my midlife crisis. It's an expensive midlife crisis.
Yes, it is. But that's why I always say, your drag doesn't necessarily have to be expensive if you're crafty.
If you're crafty.
Or if you, like I said, understand what size you are as of the woman that you're portraying.
For example, you bought a coat from Rainbow. It was that black
It was a trench coat. Most of you people out there probably know it, and some of you may have it. It's a netted trench coat.
But then you stoned the whole thing.
And what was funny was I was trying to find like a t-shirt dress for something, and I saw it, and I was just like, I need to have this. I need to have this right now. And the only reason why I got that one is because it didn't have it in my size in white.
Right.
And so I got it, and I brought it home, and I was looking, and I was like, I know exactly what I'm going to do with this. And, stoned it, put a crinoline under it, and it was a look. And it didn't cost me anything.
FYI, I got the same coat, but I have yet to stone mine. I'm probably going to have, I already have this one dress that needed stoning, and Ivy's working on that. She said, you want something stoned? She's like, I'll stone it, girl.
Yeah.
That's like her favorite thing to do in her downtime.
Please, let me just tell you.
Stone.
I mean, working in many costume departments for many different shows, there are some things that are just therapeutic. So it's like, I don't have the time. I'm like, all you need to do is put on your favorite Netflix show, have it playing in the background, smooth out, and just go. And you'll be surprised that by the end of your show, your garment is practically done. And then you're like, I can wear this weekend because it's ready.
That's
but
right.
yeah, and it's also being able to look at clothes differently. Because a woman will walk in and will want to buy a dress because she loves the dress.
Right.
A drag queen will want a dress because they need it for something.
Right.
So you have to be able to look at something and go, I can do something with that. Oh, I can wear that somewhere. No one will expect this if I do this to it.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, if you're fortunate to have someone to make your costumes,
you're lucky.
Very, and they're worth their weight in gold if they're making things for you. But sometimes I'm not ashamed. I will go to the Rainbow and pull a dress in a second, especially if I know what I need it for, and I can get in it and get out of it and do a costume change and go.
Very, very easy. Well, that's like was it last July 4th on the invasion at Fire Island, and I had that pink with black polka dots. But what I did was and this was my husband's suggestion because he's kind of a stylist. He said, "We'll get like this tulle," and we made this tulle wrap to wear over it, which just took a dress from Amazon. It took it to a whole nother level. And everybody loved the look.
Doing drag, you have to be your own stylist. You also have to understand. You have to understand, yourself and the style that you want to put out. I keep saying it. You know, you got to figure out what you're wearing before you go out there and people go, "What are you wearing? Why are you wearing it like that?" You know, it's fun. It is. I love this dress. I found
gorgeous.
It's a great dress.
Gorgeous. But you like I said, she's always elegant. She always is glam.
I try.
So
as I always say, when I walk out the door, I want to look like a person. I want people to be like, "Oh, that's a lovely looking woman." Oh, it's a man. Shh. Or that's a lovely looking man. Thank you. I'll take whatever compliment you can throw at me.
But like I said, that's why next to me, Lady Labelle is one of my husband's most favorite drag performers. He's like if like I'm doing something, he's like, "Oh, who's performing?" I say, "Labelle will be there." "Oh, okay." He's like, "Oh, if Lady Labelle is going to be there, then I don't mind going." Oh, he adores you. He always raves about you. He just like thinks you are one of the. He just loves all your performances.
I try.
He really does.
I try.
He does. He really does.
I try to get out there and shake it a little bit, you know.
You do. You do.
It's what I know how to do. It's what I've always wanted to do. So
yes. Well, I want to thank you for coming. We're gonna bring this to a close. I do want to spring this on everyone. There is going to be an extra showing of the Toni Homeperm show on this Thursday.
Awesome.
This Thursday, May 23rd. And my special guest, a lot of the drag queens out there probably know her. It's Miss Zoe Dunford.
Yes.
So Zoe is actually coming out on Thursday to do a photo shoot of me. And then afterwards, we're going to do a little impromptu session of the Toni Homeperm show.
Awesome.
It's going to be an early edition. It's 5:30 to 6:30 because then I've got to get her to the train because she's got to get back home.
But that's okay. I mean,
she's young, so she can't stay out that
that's
late.
Okay. I mean, you know, it is Facebook Live. You can always share the video, share the video.
And I will. So I'm very excited to have Zoe as my first non-drag artist.
Yes.
Guest.
Awesome.
But she is a huge supporter.
Yes, she is, and we thank you, Zoe. We really do.
So
we really do.
So that's my shout out to you, Zoe. I told you I was going to shout it out.
Awesome. See, this Toni Homeperm show is working.
Oh, she's working it, girl. She's working it. Actually, it's like it's so much fun, like to get
Now you have a reason.
And then it's like, oh, I just have to go downstairs and do my show.
You don't have to go anywhere.
I don't have to get in the car. I don't have to travel
Pretty
anywhere.
soon there'll be an episode with him in the bed. Hi, it's the Toni Homeperm show. Today's guest. Meanwhile, they'll be in the chair and she'll be laying out in a negligee. So tell me about your life.
I like that idea.
Why not? You don't have to put your corset on. Just a wonderful A-line armoire. You just recline. You'll be fine.
Oh, fine. I like this.
I'd watch that show. I'd be like, in bed with Toni Homeperm. And there'll be nobody there but Toni.
That's Toni Homeperm. Yeah, because otherwise my husband would kill me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Well, but thank you so much.
Thank you
for being my guest,
no
the lovely
problem.
Lady Labelle. What are you doing next?
This weekend I will be with my sister Ivy Stalls. We will be at One Night Jack's in Bethpage on Wantagh Avenue. It's her monthly show. It's Ivy's Madness monthly show. We are either there on a Friday or a Saturday, and this time we're there on Saturday, May 25th. So we're doing that. Show's about 10:30. The regular girls will be there. Me, Bella Noche, Annie Manley Do, and a couple of other people will stop through. Then the next thing that I'll be doing will be I'll be doing the Long Island Parade, the Long Island Pride Parade. I've just been asked to be on a float.
Nice.
So I'm going to do that. And various things throughout. Right now, it's kind of that weird place in your career right now where things are just about to happen because it's June.
Yes.
So you always expect, like, okay, I need to clear my schedule because you don't know.
No, I know.
So it's one of those. So those are the things that are coming up right now. And now next month I also will be again with Ivy at her show for her birthday show.
I'm doing that one, so I'll be there. So you'll see both Lady Labelle and me.
Yeah, we'll be performing for her birthday. I think it's the Saturday of, and then that Sunday is New York City Pride, which is the 50th anniversary of Stonewall.
Which I'm marching in.
Which I'm marching in as well.
Oh, you are?
Yes, yes. I'll be there's two groups I was asked to join, but yeah. So I'll be there in the city. I don't know if I'll be dressed. I probably will be.
Oh, I will be, but I'm not marching in heels. I have my LED light up sneakers.
Okay.
You can't do that. You can't do that in heels.
No, you can't.
You can do it in face, but you cannot do it in heels.
And I'm an ex-parade marcher in costumes and mascot heads and things like that. So even a short distance is a lot. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I had my first parade was last year, and it was so much. I had so much fun, and the love that you get from the crowd. Oh, Tony, you love it.
I can't.
Oh my God! And everyone wants a picture with you, and babies are going to be all over you. Oh. I'll tell you that right now. I can't tell you how many pictures.
I hope they don't drool.
I can't tell you how many pictures I've taken.
I ain't changing no diapers. I'm telling you right now.
I had this one woman who just gave birth. She a week ago.
On the street?
No, a week ago. And she brought her newborn to the parade. Oh. And I came over and I was just saying hey to the baby. And I was holding the baby. And I was like, how old is she? She goes, I just had her. And I'm like, and you brought her to a parade? Meanwhile, the baby was happy at all.
If I hold her, she may try to nurse, so I don't know if I should.
Yeah, well,
and she's gonna be sorely disappointed.
But yeah, it's just like I always say, drag queens on that day are like the Disney characters at the theme park. Yes. You know, you can hit one with a stick, you just look around, but everybody wants to be near you and wants to take pictures and are so grateful. So it's a wonderful day. It's a blessed day when you do it.
I can't wait. I'm very excited.
Oh, so much fun.
Very excited. Oh, I just have to also. Oops. Ooh. See, I went to all the trouble of printing this the right way, and then I went and folded it up. What can I say? I'm a blonde. But
me too.
The Long Island Gay Men's Chorus is going to be doing their Love is in the Air concerts. And as you may or may not know, and my boy persona of Tony Mazza, I'm the vice president and one of the members of the Long Island Gay Men's Chorus, and we're going to be having our Love is in the Air concert June 7th, 8th, and 9th. The 7th is at the Cathedral of the Incarnation, Garden City. The 8th is at the Universal Unitarian Fellowship in Stony Brook. And the 9th at St. John's in Huntington.
So basically they're on tour.
We're on tour.
That's what that is.
That's like there's no drag that weekend. Because I'll be a boy the whole time.
But that's okay. I mean,
yeah, sometimes you have to just be a man.
Let everything breathe.
Yes. Girl, the feeling when you take the course of
oh, there's nothing like it. No, for me it's eyelashes.
I know, the eyelashes
I'm
too.
like, oh, this is what the real world looks like. Although I will say, I love eyelashes in the sun because now you have your own visor.
Yes.
Fine. You can see everyone.
Yes. So that's where you'll be able to see both Lady Labelle and myself. So
and more things. We'll be posting.
Oh yes, we are always posting. We're always posting people.
So keep an eye out.
Yes. So thank you again so much
for having me.
My guest, you were wonderful.
Thank you.
You're always so eloquent and give such intelligent and concise
I try.
Answers to the questions that I lobby. But we're practicing for our Strong Island.
We'll be fine.
So
we'll be fine.
Be a lot of fun. All right. Well, thank you all out there for joining us, and you can catch the Toni Homeperm this Thursday, 5:30 p.m. with my special guest, Zoe Dunford, and I'm looking forward to hearing what she has to say about what she thinks about the drag community and her favorite performers and everything that she can tell us from her perspective. Okay, well, have a wonderful night, and I will see you all on Thursday, and just check out our pages for where we'll be next.
I'll be at One Eye Jacks on Saturday.
One Eye Jack Saturday. Go see her at Ivy Stoll's show.
So much
always
fun.
Fabulous. All right, I'm gonna come closer, and I'm going to. Oh! I don't know if they wanted to see all that. All right. Well, bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.